Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to another episode in our season finale of the Pulse Season 2. Hope you all are having a good night. Before we get started tonight, I want everybody to go right now, like, share, subscribe, comment something down below, share it with your friends. If you like it, somebody else will love it. So before we get started with our conversation tonight, I want to introduce our cast. Uh, Come on, team, let's introduce ourselves.
Yo, yo, what's up? What's up? What's going on?
Hey y'all, it's your girl Samia. How y'all doing tonight?
Good evening, everybody. So tonight we have some important conversations to be had. We even have some special guests coming in tonight. So I hope you guys stay tuned and I hope you're excited. Again, make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and sharing down below. And let's get started with our conversation for tonight on the Pulse. So in the news this weekend, we've had some very traumatic, very not so exciting news in Georgia down south, and so concerns in Georgia obviously will raise concerns for not only other southern states, but also for Black people across the nation. There's been some voter suppression going on. There's been some bills being passed, a lot done in secret. And tonight we're here to have that conversation. So I think we should start out with Minister Rashawn tonight. We're going to talk about Senate Bill 202. Um,
Okay, what's up, y'all? What's going on? What's happening is not only egregious, but it's something that we've never. Not I don't even want to say never. It's something that's not unfamiliar. We've seen this before. What they're calling this bill SB Bill 202, or the Election Integrity Act of 2021. Basically, a bunch of legislators in Georgia, mainly Republican, have gotten together because they control the state house. Again, they've had no bipartisan support. They passed this bill overnight to the point where there are videos circulating around where it was a private signing, where the governor had his doors shut and locked to the public, and there were even senators arrested. But the thing that for me is the most ridiculous about this bill, the most ridiculous thing rather, is the simple fact that this bill, all of this conversation is deriving from the fact of Donald Trump's push of widespread election fraud. People, we don't even have to get too deep into this to, you know what I'm saying, really, I guess, call out the writing on the wall or really identify what's going on. This big lie has taken a complete life of its own. And unfortunately, the fact that he has major politicians from all over the country. Listen, people, these are people we voted for. There are major politicians that have completely endorsed and they signed onto and they have funded it and they put themselves behind this big lie of widespread election fraud. And what the kicker is, the only reason they're saying it's election fraud was because of the mass turnout, in particular in Georgia, with them not only flipping the state blue for President Biden, but they also sent, for the first time in like God ever, they sent 2 Democratic senators to Washington from Georgia. And so the reality is this Election Integrity Act of 2021 is basically saying, hey, let's make sure that we shore up our ends to suppress Black voters. Let's make sure we come down and suppress elderly people from coming out to vote. They've made it illegal now for people to serve food and water while people are standing in line. They've made it illegal for you to certain places to have, because certain churches were coming together to pick people up, and they were carpooling and busing and pulling people in numbers. Some things of that campaign have been alleviated and mitigated, and then they've gone now to also they've closed some polls early. They're shutting some places down, and the state legislation now has the power to take over elections. It used to be where your Secretary of State was the head of the election board, right? They in Georgia, and this is how it happened in 42 other states, they have removed that right, and now they're trying to place somebody who's nonpartisan in that position. But guess who gets to choose the person that serves as the head of the election board? Whatever party has the majority control in the state house. So again, we don't have to really, dance around and go around the elephant that's in the room. This is just disgusting. And I don't have too much more to say about it. This is crazy. Y'all talk to me.
Absolutely. Now, really quick, before we move on to Samia, I want to hear what you have to say as well. I think we have a video behind the scenes that we want to share about what's going on, especially like what Rashawn said about going on with the signing of Senate Bill 202 behind closed doors in Governor Kent's office. And we have a video we want to share of Representative Park being arrested. So let's go ahead and watch that.
She's not under arrest.
For what? Under arrest for what? For trying to see something that our governor is doing? Our governor is signing a bill that affects all Georgians, and you're going to arrest an elected representative. Why does the governor have more power than the...
Now, as you can see in the video, as you heard the lady recording saying, this is an elected representative that's being arrested because she's trying to get inside the governor's office and see what's going on within the state that she represents. And it's very strange that this Black woman, who is, again, an elected representative of the state, there's information being withheld from her and she's not allowed to see what's going on. So if an elected official is having information withheld from her and held back, I mean, what's going on with the people? Samia, what do you got to say? Let's say what you got.
I mean, to me, like it's just desperation at this point. Desperation, anything they can do to keep ahead of the game. I've read a post where they blatantly stated, "This is the only way that we can ensure that we're going to get the vote that we want." And for them to be that blatant and honest, it's just like at this point, it's ridiculous. I was watching Rachel Maddow, and Rachel Maddow is leaking a video where they're specifically stating that somebody is being paid up top to keep things the way they want it. And that person came forward and said, they don't want this. 80% of voters do not want you involved in election. 80%, not just 80% Democrats or 80% Republicans. No, 80% of all voters don't want you to do anything. And they're like blatantly ignoring that completely to the point of insanity, because for them to be so honest and for them to just be so callous, like, we're going to make sure that we get the people we want in office, the laws that we want passed, and we don't care who it hurts. If you look back as far as forever, they made the mistake of making things so vague in the Constitution. And now that everybody is trying to go by the word for word, what it says, we the people are the people control the government. They're like, no, wait a second. Don't read into the honest truth of what that actually says. That doesn't really apply to everybody. At first, it was easy for them to raise laws that created more criminals because criminals weren't allowed. But that's not good enough anymore. That's not going to work. We have 25% of the world's criminals and people in prison, but that's not good enough. Only 5% of the world's population, but we have 25% of the people in prison, but that's not good enough. We got to find another way to make sure these people can't vote, make sure these people can't do what they want to do. It's just crazy. It really is.
Yeah. So let me ask this, Armani. So Senate Bill 202 was reported to be 94 pages long and was signed into law approximately an hour following its final deliberation and agreed upon, passing through the Senate, House, and Senate and the House. I apologize. So this bill is affecting this bill. Let me get my words together. I apologize. This bill adds ID requirements. It limits the amount of drop boxes for mail-in votes. And it allows, like Rashawn said earlier, the state to override local elections. Armani, let me ask you this question. How do you think that this bill in Georgia will affect other laws in other states moving forward?
Well, it's their plan, I feel, is with the bill is to backtrack everything that our ancestors, what I'm wearing right here, our ancestors fought for. And I think, obviously, I saw one of the comments on Facebook, they were saying that they're still mad about the whole, Georgia turning blue because, obviously people turned out in numbers last election. So obviously they're still angry. So that being said, a lot of other states are going to follow follow suit and decide that they're going to, probably do the same thing or try to find a way to insert corruption in some type of way, because that's what states do. That's what the politicians do to stay in power. They don't care about what people think. They only care about power. 'Cause obviously that's what we've seen for years, and now we see the modern Jim Crow. That's what we call it, the modern Jim Crow, because it's the same exact tactics that they used back in the day. So it's literally formed as something. It's Jim Crow 2.0. That's what we're calling it. So I just think we just got to keep buckling down and try to get people to pay attention to what's going on, because a lot of people, they say they voted, but they probably, because with trying to get Trump out of office, but now you got to keep getting people back into, well, you're going to have to make sure that your ID is on point. You need to make sure that you are staying where you are with, because if you change your address, they'll disqualify you like that. I'm a college student. A lot of college students could not vote because they live on campus. And with this whole pandemic, a lot of them have housing situations. So if you live in a different state, or you live on campus, or you live off of campus, they'll try to mess you up and say, oh, you were living on campus last semester, but now living at a different place, you can't vote, even though you have a valid address. So those are things that we definitely need to talk about to those who are qualified voters, and get people aware of what's going on, because if they don't, they're going to be looking crazy. Like when they get up there, they're going to be like, sorry, you can't vote. So I think the best thing we need to do is talk about this and keep people aware.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm gonna throw this last question up for everybody, and I want you guys watching in the audience to throw your answers down in the comments down below. I would say I'm honestly very shocked by the events of this weekend and this week. I would say that I'm not shocked that people are again disenfranchising Black people, but I would say I'm very shocked to see it on this scale, on this mass, to literally hold back voters, to literally tell people that they cannot vote. So let me ask somebody's opinion. What do you guys honestly think? Personal opinions.
Well, for me, it comes down to this. We understand where the United States and where they I guess they're what is the word I'm thinking of? They are who we thought they were, if I can say that. So, right, because they've been functioning this same way for the last 400 years, I think we as a people, we really, really got to buckle down to what it is we're paying attention to. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not worried about what Lil Nas X is doing in his shoes when there are laws that are threatening whether or not I'll be able to dictate policies. You see what I'm saying? It's apples and oranges. And so we really want to avoid all this stuff, because remember, no weapon that's formed against us can prosper. But it doesn't mean that the weapon, when it's formed, is not going to hurt you and injure you if you're not paying attention. So we just got to wise up for real.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, really quick, we're going to head to a quick break. I want everybody to like, share, subscribe, keep tuned in, because we have some surprises coming back for you after this quick break. We'll see you back here on The Pulse. And we are back. We are back here on The Pulse. Welcome back, everybody. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you drop some comments down below. We're going to get back into this mighty conversation about Senate Bill 202 in Georgia. Now, in response to Senate Bill 202 in Georgia, there's a lawsuit being filed between Georgia State Chapter of NAACP, Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, League of Women's Voters Georgia, amongst other activist groups. And they are filing this complaint against the Secretary of State and the State Election Board in Georgia, stating that this Senate Bill 202 is a, quote, violation of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 and is, quote, a culmination of the concerted effort to suppress the participation of Black voters and other voters of color. Now, before we get into this conversation, I do have a guest that we need to bring on screen. Please, everybody, welcome Pastor Dante Duckett.
Right.
Welcome, Director of New
Yes,
Kingdom
sir.
TV's The Pulse. Welcome. Pastor
Good to
Duckett, I
be
think we
here.
should start
Good
this
to
one
be
with
here.
you. What do we think that we can, what do you think about this lawsuit? What do you think?
I really am, I'm grateful that the NAACP decided to file this lawsuit, but we know that there's so much more that can be done. I am a staunch advocate of ensuring that everyone is allowed to vote and not be suppressed in their voting. And again, everyone that's watching, please make sure you like and share, but make sure you give some comments, because this is real voter suppression at its best right now. What you're seeing is happening. Listen, everyone is watching. What you're seeing is happening in 43 other states. It's happening in 43 other. You're not hearing a lot about it because you're hearing it about in Georgia, but it's happening in 43 other states. And if we do not do something about it now, it's going to spread throughout the rest of the states. And so what needs to happen, we need to not only file lawsuits, but I think we need to go another step further. I was appalled when we heard about it, but then it really made me angry when we didn't hear any other major celebrities talk about it. We didn't hear any other persons push the agenda about boycotting, because that was what was trending this weekend, about boycotting certain companies that are headquartered in Georgia. And we literally had some persons decide, make the statement that we shouldn't do that because it could hurt the middle class. We are talking about voter suppression that can hurt everyone. We're worrying about how it's going to hurt the middle class when we know our civil rights was birthed out of boycotts. Boycotts is what launched the civil rights. Boycotts is what destroyed the apartheid system in South Africa. And we need to make sure that this voter suppression does not happen here. We got too much that we need to do. And I believe this show and all the other shows that we do, we need to make sure our voice is heard as it relates to these type of issues.
That's that almighty dollar. And it's just crazy that money is valued more than the lives of the people that live in this country. And that's what we really need to really pay attention to. How important it is for them to keep their money, but very, very little importance to them allowing us to live with the rights that we deserve, and people don't understand that if they can do this, and they do this, Puerto Rico doesn't vote. So let's take that off. 50. So now we're down to 51. I don't know. The Virgin Islands probably doesn't vote. So we down to 50. So if 43 out of 50 states pass this law, that is more than 90% of the country. If they have control over 90% of the country, they can do whatever they want to do. All the things that you think that you have around you could possibly be gone.
Amen. Yes. Can I make a statement, Trey?
Yeah, absolutely.
How far have we really come? Think about it. LaShawn, I know we got our producer in the back. Can you show that video one more time? I want you all to look. Really, everybody that's in the audience that's watching. Everybody, shout out to New Kingdom Faith. I got to shout out my church while I'm on. Got my little shirt. I got my shirt on. New Kingdom Faith. Okay. Shout out to LaShawn. If you can actually put that. How far have we actually come? If you look at this video, everyone looks at this video as it's coming up, you look at what it is. You got the same things happening.
We're trying to see something that our governor is doing.
Come and vote. You got a woman being arrested for trying to go in the governor's office, and she's allowed to be there. She's allowed to be there. She's allowed to knock on the door. Listen to this. When is the last time you seen someone get arrested for knocking on your door?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. We got to wake up. We literally, y'all, we have to wake up. We won the election. Great, Biden won the election, but they are expecting us expecting us to celebrate and not get involved. And like Amani said, stay involved. They're expecting that.
I don't think a lot of people even understand that this doesn't just affect Black people.
Right.
Mm.
That's right.
And I think that's the number one thing that people need to realize. It doesn't just affect Black people. 80% of the voters don't agree with these people.
Yep.
So that's way more than just Black people.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think it's definitely targeted at Black people. Definitely because, especially this year, this past presidential election, with Georgia being so monumental and so powerful in the way that their votes were able to sway the House and the Senate and the presidential election. I think that they are specifically targeting Georgia for just that reason, because Black voters were especially be able to come out because of COVID. They've been pressing mail-in ballots. They've been pressing weekend ballots, which has allowed more and more people to come in and vote, more and more, especially Black and brown people, to come in and vote. And I think that they don't like that. They're going to do anything they can to get things back to the status quo, back to the way it should be.
Absolutely. The South,
Right.
the South wants to stay in power. They know who they want to keep in power. And Chantel Wright made the statement. Chantel Wright made the statement on here and just said no one got arrested in the Capitol insurrection. No one was arrested.
But they
manhandled this woman.
Arrested by 2 officers. We had a group of people literally commit a terrorist act, and no one was arrested on the scene.
Let me say really quick. I watched the press conference video, and I was literally floored, jaw to the ground, floored, when one of the officers who arrested the representative said that the events of March 6th, which were the Capitol insurrection date, he said the events of January 6th were in the back of his mind, and he was afraid that another insurrection may happen. He was afraid that her actions and her knocking on the door to get inside might be the catalyst for another insurrection riot.
Now Black people ain't that like that.
Come on now. Come on, y'all. This is what I'm saying. And are we going to fall for this? Are we going to allow this? Are we going to allow these type of things to continue and not be checked?
But that's
my next question.
And I want to dive into that, because now that we've identified the elephant in the room, now that we identified, the issues that are plaguing our community and are targeted toward us, the only way that we overcome, we got to stop being so divided as a people. We have been incredibly divided, in particular over this last year. Our community in particular, we've been divided, and it's shown. A lot of people think that this pandemic, all it's done is expose white privilege, and it's exposed the powers that be. No, it's exposed everybody. It's exposed us as a community, because it showed just how vulnerable we are. We are so busy trying to pull one another down. We're so busy, you feel what I'm saying, trying to keep up with the status quo. We have kids failing all over the country from virtual school because parents aren't involved, because parents are out, you know what I'm saying, either trying to party. We got parents, you see what I'm saying, traveling all out the country. We got parents, you see what I'm saying, out here just doing all types of stuff that is not uplifting our community. Then we have the nerve to get mad at somebody when somebody else tries to tell you something that's going to help your children.
I don't know if y'all saw that comment, but it said that white privilege is showing like feathers of a peacock. But yet we not mad enough to do nothing yet.
Right. It's not until it hurts enough that we're going to do so. So what's got to happen? We got to see another person get killed by the police, and then we're going to start stepping up.
That's the thing.
Knowing that this is even worse, because this affects it all. It affects everyone.
Even worse.
Even worse. It affects
let me pose this question. I know we're talking about we have to take action moving forward. We have to. I think I like what Rashawn's point was, that we have to stop being so divisive as a community. Let me ask this, Samia. What do you think actually moving forward we can do, as far as speaking to different legislators, as far as speaking to government officials, as far as protests? What do you think some physical actions we can do even today, right now?
Exercise your rights, because people are not doing that. They're not doing that. They don't even know that they have the right.
But I think what it goes into
the law. Go there. Put your eyes on it. Open your ears to it. Speak, because you have the right to. People don't understand that they have these rights. You are being distracted most of the time. So the reason being you don't even know what's going on is because you're paying attention to the flashy thing. The flashy thing. Oh, look at at the light. Oh, look at the light. When you could be looking into, Armani has said this many times, go to the discussions, watch it on TV. You can be
It's deeper,
testimonial.
sis. It's deeper.
Introduce yourself to the people who are in your local legislator. My father can literally call these people on the phone and tell them what he wants. You can too. You can do it too. We have the right.
They should know you by name.
Best believe
they should, guys. But it's even deeper than that. The thing that we're missing right now in this movement, there is no clear identified core leadership. There's no leadership. Yep. The reason why people don't know their rights because there's no leadership on the ground anymore. The Al Sharptons of the world. Dr. Duckett named it, the Al Sharptons of the world, the Oprah Winfreys of the world, those who continue to show up when the cameras are in the street, they have been silent. And or if they are speaking, in fact, James Brown said it best, talking loud and saying nothing. They are talking loud and saying nothing. They are saying nothing of relevance, and that's what's killing us as a community. So me and your father is one of the people. The reason why he's able to get results is because of his consistent commitment to leadership. Right. There's a consistent commitment. Everybody, for some reason, not even some reason, we know what it is. Our leaders have sold themselves to the dollar. They don't speak on certain issues because, as you alluded to, Samia, they don't want to destroy the middle class. They don't want to destroy them checks coming in. And so what I can do, this is what they're saying. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and show up during high profile stuff, but I'm not going to call out certain people. I'm going to go ahead and show up to the award ceremonies, to the Black Lives Matter demonstration, but I'm not necessarily going to condemn anybody just so that I can function with that. And I think the scripture, and I'm not preaching, but the scripture talks about God would rather you be either hot or he'd rather you be cold. Please don't stop preaching. In that lukewarm spirit, you get spit out. And that's what we're experiencing. Because of their lukewarmness, they had literally spewed all types of crap on our people, Samia. That's why we're distracted. Not necessarily because what?
But this is my thing with that, and this ain't no new thing. People sell themselves to the dollar every day. But me, you, and whoever else can say whatever. Go run your mouth somewhere else. That's how I feel. I don't wait for nobody to say nothing for me. I don't got time. So we need leaders, yes. We need leaders, yes. But we need more people to show up as leaders. Because the leaders that we have sold themselves already.
Exactly.
Beg them to get their money back? No. New leadership.
We do. You're right.
Exactly.
And until we get until we get leaders who are willing to die for the movement.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
man.
it. Until we in Holy Week. Can I go there? We're in Holy Week. Until you get a leader that's willing to die. King was like 26, 27 when he started. Until you're willing to die for the movement, you're gonna be susceptible to be sold out. You're gonna be open game. The money is gonna come at you. They're gonna do whatever they can to make sure that you don't get to that point. But you got to be willing to have your character assassinated. You got to be willing to have your life threatened. You have to be willing to go. Somebody, like someone put on here, young leaders, we have to have persons that's really willing to go all in all the time and on the issue and stay there.
Unapologetically.
That's it. Unapologetic. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what we're missing. That's what we're missing.
Everybody's scared of cancel culture. I'm gonna tell you,
the world is too busy honoring our celebrities on the
trying
NAACP.
to cancel me.
Right.
Good luck.
Right. That you're right about that cancel culture, man, because it is taking a lot of people hostage. Believe me, it is taking a lot of people hostage.
Oh, did you guys see that comment? Andrea John Jack, political analyst. Blacks just want to be on TV or sell their books. Money talks. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Comments on here tonight.
Oh my God. Oh my
That's all they care about.
Black people easy to take up off the shelf with some money.
Man,
man.
Y'all, this
money goes just like everything else.
Finale of finales for us, y'all. This has been good.
Absolutely.
And you see how with the
I think we've had some great conversations.
Awards, they didn't even care about. Right.
Amani, thank you so much for being. How do you have you are called the NAACP?
The
and we see more coverage about your award show than what you're doing about voter suppression. I'm confused. Somebody needs to help me. I'm confused.
I'm the secretary of a youth branch, and I don't see not one of my peers, not one of the leaders in the NAACP being honored, but yet we honor the celebrities like they're doing something in the community.
Oh,
They don't do
man.
anything
That's
but
amazing.
entertain.
And you're in a branch. That's amazing. That says everything
And
about
I'm in
our
a branch, and I
leadership.
don't see nobody honoring anybody that's been doing the work.
Wow.
What is going on?
You
Absolutely.
can drop the mic there.
No, I think we're having some really
Priorities.
good discussion. I think we're having some really good conversation. I think we should continue the conversation in the comments, on social media,
Yes.
in real life. Continue this conversation with your politicians. Continue these conversations on the phone and emails and letters. Continue this conversation on social media. Push the message to get the word out. Let other people know that they can be active in politics. They do have a say-so. They do have a right, like Samia said earlier. They do have a right to speak. They do have something to say. There's something you can do. You don't just have to sit back and talk like us and chit chat like us behind the cameras. We can get out on the ground and we can do real stuff to really change the world, because people in real life are doing real stuff to change the world in a really bad way. And we have the power to change the world in a really great way. So with that being said, again, I think we need to continue the conversation down below in the comments. Continue the conversation with the hashtag The Pulse and New Kingdom TV on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. Make sure you guys are following. Make sure, again, you guys are sharing with all your friends. This has been the season finale of The Pulse Season 2. Thank you all and have a great night.
Listen, before you close out, can y'all, everybody that's in the comments, everybody, all our guests that's watching, can we give a shout out for this crew? They've been with us all season long. Trey, Rashawn, Samir, and Armani. Everybody that's watching, can y'all give a shout out to your favorite? Won't y'all put in the comments right now who your favorite host is? I know we got some parents on here. They're gonna pay favoritism. I know Chantel and all, and Sean got it, and Armani, everybody. Come on, won't y'all
Team
put out
Dre in the
there
comments. Team Dre in the comments.
Make sure
I said, y'all remember I claimed somebody as my auntie was it last week? 2 weeks ago?
A great
Where
time.
you at, auntie? Come on, auntie.
Everybody put y'all right in there. Who's your favorite host? Armani, Samir,
Where you at,
Rashawn,
auntie?
Trey. Come on, make sure that y'all put in there. We got to also give a shout out, y'all, to LaShawn, our producer in the back. Oh my God, LaShawn is doing her thing. Look, Amani getting love in the chat. I ain't getting nobody say nothing about me because I ain't never on the show. So and of course Jay, and of course Pastor Offer going to talk about his daughter, and of course Chantel's going to talk about Trey, and Rashawn going to say Rashawn. Of course, that's. Listen, y'all, this has been incredible. We had a great season. Y'all be on the lookout. We're going to come back with a powerful season. New guests, new video, new everything.
Auntie is here.
So excited. We are closing out. Look, the Pulse was hot this season. I can't wait till next season. Listen, keep your comments going even as we close out. God bless. Peace.
Peace.